The Olive Branch from Palestine, Expanded Edition, the Palestinian Declaration of Independence, and the Path Out of the Current Impasse. Written by Jerome M. Segal. Read for you by Matthew Lloyd Davis. Exchange between the author and Mahmoud Darwish, Palestinian national poet and drafter of the Palestinian Declaration of Independence, a few days after the declaration, in the lobby of the Tunis Hilton Hotel. Segal, standing. Mahmoud, tell me, who actually wrote the declaration? Darwish, sitting on a bench, smiling, making fun of me. Why, Jerome, I thought you did. Forward. Noam Chomsky. Palestinians face grim times. Of that there is no doubt. That is true even apart from the legacy of the Trump administration, which regrettably seems likely to have set its stamp on policy for the near future at least. Trump and associates seem to take particular pleasure in kicking the weak and vulnerable in the face while abjectly serving power. Palestinians were an obvious choice. Boiled down to its essence, the Trump administration's message to the Palestinians was, "You've lost. Get over it." But the roots of the Palestinian plight are far deeper. One might even say that it is to Trump's credit to have brought forth clearly with his trademark vulgarity what has been the essence of U.S. policy for many years: refusal to recognize the Palestinians as equal bearers of rights. Thanks in no small part to U.S. support for Israeli crimes over many years, 2 million Palestinians now barely survive in Gaza. The territory will soon be literally unlivable, according to international monitors, after years of brutal siege, regular destructive assault, and a carefully administered diet by the Israeli occupiers designed to keep the population barely alive, but no more than that. There has been one lifeline for Palestinians: the meagre support from the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, UNRWA. Trump's reaction to the impending catastrophe was to terminate U.S. funding for UNRWA. His reason? Palestinians show no appreciation or respect for him as he offers them an ultimate deal that ends all hopes for minimal rights, while handing Jerusalem, actually vastly expanded Greater Jerusalem, over to Israel. As a special gesture of contempt, he even proceeded to cut funding for Palestinian hospitals in East Jerusalem. In the miserable Shatila refugee camp in Beirut, still reeking of the Israeli-coordinated slaughter that culminated its murderous 1982 invasion, children play in the mud in dark alleys where they will spend the rest of their lives, retiring to the small rooms where the family still treasures their one sacred possession, the key to the home in Galilee from which they were expelled in the Nakba. I have seen many scenes of misery and terror, but few evoking such pathos as these little children. They had one ray of light: the UNRWA-funded school in the slum, now extinguished, courtesy of the leader of the free world. In the West Bank, Israel pursues the systematic policy initiated shortly after the 1967 war of creating a greater Israel that will take over everything of value and effectively incorporate it into Israel with vast settlement and infrastructure projects, a form of de facto and probably later de jure annexation, all illegal, as determined by every relevant international authority. But laws are for the weak. As in neo-colonies generally, Palestinian elites will be able to enjoy Western standards in Ramallah, with 90% of the population of the West Bank living in 165 separate islands, ostensibly under the control of the Palestinian Authority, but actual Israeli control, as reported by Nathan Thrall, senior analyst with the International Crisis Group. The Syrian Golan Heights, illegally annexed by Israel in violation of Security Council orders, has long been forgotten, along with its former inhabitants. These policies have been pursued systematically by all governments, including those of moderate doves, such as former President Shimon Peres, one of the architects of settlement deep in the West Bank. Could it have been otherwise? Can it still be? These are the questions posed in Jerome Segal's carefully argued and highly informative study, centered on an original strategy that he had devised.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?